As an Egyptian, currently in diaspora, but as an Egyptian, I want to have a conversation with Trinis. You may not realize this, but we actually have a lot more in common than you realize. A lot more in common than you realize. Um, yes, we may be Northeast Africa and you are in the Caribbean, but politically speaking, you're about to be our mirror in another part of the world. You see, Egyptians live in a land where the politics are quite out of our control. And they're primarily puppets for um, another country's agenda. Always. Never our own. It's why our people live below the dignity line, even though our resources are insanely good. And even though we have one of the most populated militaries in the world, one of the strongest militaries in the world, we are somehow in the situation that we are. And the way that this happened, because there was a point where there was some prosperity and things were starting to look good, and then things collapsed. And it's because of the role that Egypt as a government and a nation has chosen to play. Essentially, the United States and other NATO countries have created a lot of destabilization in our neighboring countries. And our government continues to choose neutrality, to remain neutral to the actions of the oppressor and listening to the barbaric narrative made up about many of our neighboring countries. This has caused an already overpopulated land to be even more populated with humans migrating trying to save their own lives because of the big bad bullies. So, here we are observing the new axis of evil that is completely made up, that is being created in the Americas, starting with the narrative about Venezuela. And you and Venezuela have had pretty good relationships. Amazing relationships, if I'm not mistaken. The people coexist beautifully. You work together very well. I'm sure there have been little kerfuffles here and there, but I don't think that it is to the degree that your current government is trying to make up, whatever it is. They are trying to paint an image to manufacture consent. That you co-sign with your neutrality. Because I think if your government is to ask your people to engage militarily and aid in this invasion, I think you're in a point where you want to remain sovereign, okay? And your government knows that it'll affect your sovereignty if you engage militarily to help the United States with what they're doing. So I think your government will instead likely, and I could be wrong, but they may likely take an angle of neutrality. Look up the history of Gamal Abdel Nasser and the treaty that he signed, recognizing is not real. All this to say, be observant. If what you are seeing doesn't match what you are hearing, your silence will be seen as consent and complacency. And as a result, the direct harm will happen to you, not to the American people, although, I mean, it always gets back to the other people of the other land, but it will first happen to you, and primarily happen to you. You have a beautiful people and a beautiful country. And what living below the dignity line does to people who are on the brink of liberation, because Egypt was also on the brink of liberation when these all started to happen. Because Egypt has also been occupied and still is. And you may not realize it, but you are also still occupied in many ways. Just a word of caution from an Egyptian who recognizes patterns and who loves your country as much as I love my country. My people and your people are so similar in so many ways. The love, the heart, the beauty of the land, the nature, the landscape, the creativity, the ingenuity, the community. Don't trust the stories you hear if they don't match what you see with your own eyes. And be sure to get the full story every time.